At the beginning of the level, we fought Count Cannoli. At the end of the level, we have to fight Carpaccio. And Carpaccio is infinitely more interesting than Count Cannoli, because he's just suave, flamboyant, and the perfect example of the cartoonishly good spy. He's got a very specific style, and I can appreciate his overall gimmicks and personality, especially since it creates such a vibrant character to see on screen. And appropriate for such a vibrant character that the first time that we fought this guy, he was a giant snowball head, and the second time we fight him, we have to beat him in a race. Just like Stuffy the Dolphin, instead of adding race-like elements to the boss fight, this boss fight is literally a race. An interesting concept for a boss fight to be a straight race through an obstacle course, and one that actually had a really decent twist on the whole idea. One that I did understand my first time playing it, and which means I inevitably and comically failed spectacularly to beat Carpaccio's walking pace, while Wario has to deal with a bunch of obstacles that he has to frequently fly through costumes in order to figure out. Which gets more complicated when you figure out the actual twist of the thing you're supposed to be doing in the race. See, Carpaccio obviously cheated, like you could tell in the intro cutscene he wasn't going to play fair on this one, because you're competing for a shard of the Wish Stone. If he can make it easier on himself, then obviously he's going to take that chance, because he wants to have the unlimited power first. But you can turn the tables on Carpaccio because you have magical bullshit powers and he doesn't. See, the required strategy for this boss fight is that throughout the race, you have to turn into Artist Wario and draw blocks in Carpaccio's side of the race in order to slow him down. The blocks actually last a pretty long time, and Carpaccio doesn't really have a way to break them himself. So if you get a series of them back to back, then you can slow him down immensely while you get the opportunity to figure out the obstacles, which range from a bunch of blocks that you have to destroy with the ray gun from Space Wario, a water hazard that you have to get around with Pirate Wario, a block stacking puzzle with the artist form, and a couple of boxes that are right for the Dragon Wario to get rid of. It's a really interesting challenge and a decent spin on the gameplay of Master of Disguise that unfortunately we are only going to be seeing this one time. And it was a good idea because adding in the race element really ties the gameplay to the story a lot better, which just makes this set piece all that much stronger and something unique that the game had performed. Count Cannoli here is kind of an unnecessary element with the whole story of the race because he's the inferior partner of Carpaccio and Cannoli teaming up, and it's quite obvious that Carpaccio is going to dump Cannoli at the first opportunity that lets him do so, while gaining a huge benefit. And that's just because Count Cannoli is not a useful character to have in a partnership sense. He doesn't bring anything to the table. The biggest thing that he could have done was his battle robots. And with the last video, you can sort of see how his battle robots aren't exactly a benefit in his favor. So Carpaccio is basically just stringing him along and hoping that Count Cannoli knows a little something that he doesn't, so that he can get a leg up on Wario. But Carpaccio is a man of his word, because that is one of the traits of this stereotypical gentleman spy, so he lets Wario have the fourth shard of the Wish Stone, and hopefully he can get to the last one before everything is said and done. We are getting really close to the final boss, and the mystery is starting to wrap up, so we're finally going to see who is behind all of this nonsense, and if Wario is finally going to get his last wish to be the ruler of the Golden King of whatever fictitious kingdom he wants to buy with his ill-gotten gains.